This is just a test. We don't have anyone in here. This is my first live stream forever. I did it one other time for about 5 minutes and turned it off because I didn't know what to say. So this is actually my very first live stream. We have one person watching. Well, welcome. Just wanted to say that I hope you had a Merry Christmas. If you actually celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a great holiday season, and we're into the new year, and we have RTR coming up here in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to RTR. I don't know exactly how this thing works. I need to get the chat running here. That's why I'm doing this so late, is because I really don't understand exactly how all this live stream thing works. I'm just getting it up and running. Let's see here. I want to get the chat going. I think there's chat. Can anybody hear me? Can you guys hear me? How's the mic? Looks like the chat is working. Let me see if I can say something. Yeah, looks like it's working. So anyway, just wanted to touch base with you guys, let you know that I have never live streamed before. This is my very first live stream. That's a lie. I actually did it one other time on my phone, and it was pretty horrendous. And I gave up after about 5 minutes because I was kind of a deer in the headlights and I had absolutely no idea what to say. So this is a different animal. I'm actually live streaming with one of my Nikon cameras. I actually purchased some software to get this thing up and running. It's still not exactly like I want it. As a matter of fact, it's not even close to what I wanted. I am going to be purchasing some other things to use my Sony in the future, hopefully to do this live stream. But right now, the Nikon is gonna suffice. Hopefully, I hope you guys can hear me okay, because I was having some mic issues, so I'm not sure how well the mic is sounding. If it's loud enough, uh, it looks like I just muted it. Looks like it's okay. I don't believe we're clipping, so hopefully you guys can hear me. Uh, Feel free to type anything. I have the chat going up here. I've got my big monitor here in front of me, so if you're wondering why I keep looking down, it's because I'm looking at the chat over here and trying to see. It looks like we have 2 people in here. We got 1 thumbs up. Can't beat that at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I've been dicking around with this thing for hours, trying to get this thing working. So got it working. Don't know how well it's going to do, but I believe so far so good. I will say, in case this thing shuts off, there's a possibility because I am just using the battery that's in this camera. I don't actually have a actual AC power supply for this camera, so it's just purely running off the battery power, and I can't see on my screen or anything exactly where the battery is or where it's gonna, if it's gonna shut off or if it's gonna keep running. So if it does shut off, I apologize. I'm just kind of doing a test run here. I did a couple of private runs to see how this worked, and I think I've got it running pretty good. I was hoping we would get enough people in here to actually have a conversation going. I have the chat going over here to the right. So if you guys want to type anything in the chat, feel free to. This weekend, I will be out in Fullerton at my buddy Noah's. I have several people that are coming to look at my other rig. If you remember my old rig from Vagabond days, the old Dodge Bertha, she's been up for sale. I literally just actually listed her for sale, though, and now I have a lot of people actually interested in coming to look. So that's what I will probably be doing the majority of this weekend, is out in Fullerton, giving tours of Bertha, and hopefully some lucky person will actually drive away and have a new rig. I'm hoping it'll go to somebody that I can keep up with on social media. That would make me really happy. Not sure if that'll be the case, but hopefully it'll be somebody that's into the van life and wanting a rig like Bertha to hopefully full time in. We'll see what happens. I'm not holding my breath on that one, but hopefully it will. I'd love it if it was somebody that has an Instagram and all that stuff, so I can kind of live, keep up with Bertha and see, where she is in the future. But I will be glad to get rid of her. It'll be a nice little chunk of change in my pocket, and I won't be having to scrounge to get all this equipment that I want. We have a Metro coming. That's one great thing about my office, is it's literally right here by the train tracks. So there goes the Metro, guys. The Los Angeles Metro just rolled by us. And just for you guys to know, the Metro is actually very quiet. About 2 or 3 times a day, a freight train comes by here. When the freight train comes by here, it's literally like a earthquake. The whole office shakes. My whole office shakes because the train is so close, I can literally almost reach out my window and touch it. That's how close to the building it is. So it makes it really fun when I'm doing YouTube videos for Nomad News and the train comes by because I literally just have to cut and wait till the train gets through going by and then start again. I hope you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or let me know. I got 5 people in here, so I'm not the only night owl. That's great to know. I'm not the only one that's up at the wee hours of the morning doing these kind of things. I thought it'd be good to do this in the middle of the night, though, so I wasn't bombarded or didn't have too many people watching. Oh, we got 2 thumbs up. Thanks. We got 7 people watching. Welcome. I don't know who all's in here. Is the chat working? I'm not sure exactly how the chat works. I think it's working. Does anybody know how to chat, like type chat, anything? I'd like to know if you can hear me all right and if you can see me okay. Um, 7 people, 2 thumbs up. We've been going for 6 minutes. If you're just joining me, I'm just letting you guys know this is just a trial run. This is my very first live stream. I've never ever live streamed for any amount of time. I did it one other time on my phone, and it only lasted about 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes because I cut it off because I really didn't even know what to say. Oh, we got Jay Holly. Yes, you can hear me. Like your last name, Jay. I think we have the same last name. And for those that don't know, my last name is Holly as well. I am from Lubbock, Texas. And I will say, Mr. J. Holly, that my actual last name actually has an E in it as well. But I actually took the E out myself and just started spelling it without the E, like the notorious Buddy Holly, which was a cousin of my dad's. And it's just stuck. People actually spell it legally now without the E in it. I was admitted to the hospital a few years ago. I had to get my appendix out, and they put the E on my band, on my armband, and people were flabbergasted. Even my stepsister was like, "Oh my God, you're right. You do have an E in your name." Because I told the lady, and I was like, "She's like, is your name spelled right?" I was like, "Yeah." Well, I don't spell the last name with an E in it. She goes, "Well, that's legally how it's spelled, so that's how we have to spell it." I was like, "Well, where does it legally say that? Because everywhere else on my driver's license and everything, there's no E." So I don't know where they got my medical records, probably from when I was born, I guess, in my birth certificate or something. But they actually knew that I had an E in my name, which is something I never use. I never put an E in it. Oh, we've got Amy Preston. Hi, Amy. At the kitchen table. Hello from Myrtle Beach. Oh, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in the house. That's awesome. One of my girlfriends from high school was an Army brat, Air Force brat, and her dad, I believe, was stationed at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So, is there a Air Force? Used to be an Air Force base there. Is there still an Air Force base there? I know she loved Myrtle Beach. I've never been to Myrtle Beach. I've been to North Carolina. I've been to South Carolina, but never Myrtle Beach. But it's supposed to be pretty nice. And you're in Georgia, Jay? Jay Holly? Still a great last name. We share the same last name. So I'm looking at my screen here, guys. I know it probably looks awkward because I'm not looking up at the camera. I've kind of got the camera set up here so I can have my screen in front of me and see what's going on in the conversation here. If you have any questions about Nomad News or if you have any questions about RTR, let me know. Warner Robins, Georgia. Oh, here we go. We got another train going by. I have never been to Warner's Robins, Georgia. I'm trying to remember where I've been in Georgia. I've been to Athens, I believe. I've been to every state in the United States except for, you're not going to believe this. I've been to every state in the United States except for Washington State, which is just a straight north shot for me, and Oregon. Both of those states are straight north of me, and Alaska and Hawaii. I've been to every other state in the United States, usually on multiple occasions, except for those 4. So I've got to knock those 4 off my bucket list, and I hope this year is going to be the year. I keep saying that every year, and it never happens. So hopefully this year will be the year that I mark those 4 states off my list, and I'll be to have been to all the 50 states. Warner Robins, Georgia. What's the temperature in Warner Robins, Georgia, Jay? RV Ashes in April. We are at an American Girl Mine BLM. Oh, nice. You guys are out on BLM land tonight. I wish I was out on BLM land camping out. What's the temperature where you guys are? Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is here in Los Angeles. The temperature here in LA is, and it is 1:06 in the morning and it's 52 degrees, guys. That's one reason people ask me, why do you stay in California? Why are you in LA? I'm in LA because I'm a full timer and my truck is parked right out there on the street. And when I get through with this live stream, I'm going to shut all this down and I'm going to be going to my truck. And it's 52 degrees. So if I was probably in Texas or Georgia, anywhere else like that, I'm sure it's down close to freezing in a lot of those places. So that makes it a little bit uncomfortable unless you got a lot of heat going on. And I'm a single guy, so there's not a lot of heat going on. Okay, we got 6 people watching. We got 3 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, this is my first live chat. So if you like it, hopefully I'll be doing some more. I'm trying to get this studio all set up to be doing these live chats at least once a week now. I want to be, I'm not sure exactly what day I'm going to do the live chats. What day do you think is a good day for live chats? J Holly 56. Let's see. Looking at I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm looking away from the camera. I'm looking at the chat here, and it says Amy Preston at the kitchen table, RV Ash. We met at Thanksgiving dinner. We were part of the group. Oh, you were part of the 28? Was it 28 or 29? We had a big group at Thanksgiving, guys. If you don't know, I was in Parker, Arizona for the van build, and I was also there at Boondockers Bash afterwards. But a bunch of us met in Parker at the casino. What is that casino called? Blue Water Casino or something like that. And we all actually had a big group. It was the Van Life Sheldons. Who else did we have? We had a whole bunch of people. Scott and Terry from Destination Open Road. The RV Ashes were there. Sorry, guys, I didn't recognize you. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of us. It was a really fun Thanksgiving. They had a buffet. It was a 4-hour wait for the buffet at the Blue Water Casino if you didn't get in early. Aussie, yeah, that's right. Pandemonium. Aja from Pandemonium was there. Jimmy, who actually was one of the hosts of the van build. Not the van build, I'm sorry. That was Jamie. It was the host of the van build. Jimmy was one of the hosts of the Boondockers Bash, which followed the van build. Getting my events mixed up there. So RV Ash in April, are you guys going to RTR? Are you guys still gonna, you said you're on BLM land tonight. Wandering Jimmy. Yeah, it was Wandering Jimmy. My bad. It was Wandering Jimmy. Was one of the others that was there with us with the 28. We have 7 people watching. I'm amazed. I actually did. Now 8 people. I had absolutely no idea anybody would be watching this at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was actually expecting just to kind of do this test run by myself. So what do you guys think of the office here? I've got my office set up, the studio. I'm going to be ordering some more lights. I'm streaming right now through my Nikon camera. As my webcam. I had to purchase some software today to get this to work. So I've been working on this since probably around 4 o'clock, trying to figure all this thing out and get it where it would work. And I could actually do a live stream, a test run tonight. And I did a couple of private ones that I just erased. Can you guys hear me okay? How's the sound? 3-2 travel. Good day from Brisbane, Australia. Wow. Hey, Australia, welcome. How are you guys doing? I know there's some crazy fires going on over there right now. I just read a report that we sent like close to 50 firefighters over there to kind of help out with you guys. Is it probably like LA where everybody thinks when there's fires going on, they think the fire's right beside us. And then we say, no, the fire's like 35-minute drive from where we're at. But I know you guys do have a lot of devastating fires going on right now in Australia. And my heart goes out to you guys because, here in Southern California, we deal with that. Every fire season as well, we deal with the fires. That's one great thing. Another great thing about being mobile, though, being a van dweller, is when the fires are going on and the smoke is in a certain area, I move to a totally different area. I know downtown LA. I'm close to downtown LA where I'm at right now. And the last time we had big fires, the downtown area and everything was all smoky. Hollywood was all smoky. So I pushed down to Orange County and I was down around Newport Beach and Fullerton, which I stay in Fullerton quite a bit, but I was down around Fullerton and I just stayed down there. And I was getting a lot of text messages from family and stuff asking me, like, hey, how are you doing? Is the smoke? Are you okay? My friends Tom and Lori from Tom and Lori's RV Life, they were checking on me, and I told him, I'm like, hey, yeah, the fires are more up Hollywood, up north. And I basically just pushed all the way down. That was when the Malibu fires that burned a bunch of the celebrities' houses, which would be back over here in Malibu. A bunch of the celebrities' houses, Gerard Butler, I believe from 300, his house burned down. Miley Cyrus's house burned down. Several big multi-million dollar mansions from several celebrities' houses burned down during our fires. Let's see. We got Adina Lamette. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, Adina. Lemtets. Hello, Adina. Where are you from, Adina? We have 8 people watching now. How's the picture? How's the sound? Is it okay? I'm just trying to get an idea, like what I need to tweak to make this better. Is the sound good? Can you hear me plenty well? Got my mic up in my face where you can't see. Oh my gosh, Adina, you're from Fort Worth. Wow. Hello, Fort Worth, Cowtown, the Fort Worth Stockyards. Yeah. You probably don't know this, Adina, but I'm actually from Texas. I grew up in Lubbock, the home of Buddy Holly. My last name's Holly. We were just talking about that earlier with Jay Holly, because Jay's last name is Holly. And I am actually from Lubbock, Texas. And I grew up in Lubbock, but I lived in Dallas from, let's see, I moved to Dallas in 1988. And then I lived in Dallas from 1988 till I got a divorce in 2006. And then in 2006, I moved to California, Southern California. I moved to LA. So, yeah, I'm very familiar with the Fort Worth area. Oh, good. The sound is good. Thank you guys for letting me know. I was not sure how it was, if it was too low. I've got my mixer here, so I've been trying to, was trying to make sure I had everything dialed in before I started this live chat. So it wasn't, so you guys weren't complaining about everything. Because there's nothing worse than trying to watch somebody's live chat and it's the sound is horrible or the picture's off. So 3-2 travel sound is good. Love your channel. Thank you so much, Adina. I really appreciate that. I will say that I've been slacking. I've been working like crazy. I'm not complaining, but I will say that I'm here in my office at work at 1:00 in the morning. But I will also say that I have been here since last Thursday. I was here Christmas Eve. I was here Christmas. I was here New Year's Eve, and I was here New Year's. We had a big order of hoodies. Here's one of them. This is one of the ones that is a raw hoodie, and we actually had to we printed about 7,500 hoodies, and we had a truck pickup today that picked up 6 pallets, and that left us with 4 pallets. So we have one more load to go, and then this freaking Christmas order of hoodies is done. And I've been working. My boss, she went up to Seattle, and everybody left, and I was basically here running the company while everybody was gone. But I'm a single guy, so they've got plans with family and things like that, and I really didn't have any of that. So I basically just stayed here and worked. Hey, Debbie from Tennessee. It's 3 a.m. Oh, wow. Well, Debbie, I always say that 3 a.m. is that is the hour of creatives, people that are writers and people that are photographers and people. We're all up at 3 a.m. doing something creative. That's my motto anyway, because I'm a night owl, so I'm always up at this time of night. So it's good to see that I'm not the only one. I usually go to bed about 3:34 a.m. in the morning, and then I usually wake up about 9 o'clock. That's one great thing about my job. I can get here when I get here. Adina agrees. We got 10 people watching. I'm absolutely amazed that here on the West Coast at 1:16 a.m. in the morning, we have 10 people watching. We've had 6 thumbs up. I do appreciate the thumbs ups, guys. If you like the video, if like I said, this is the stream. It's not really a video. If you like the stream, this is my very first stream, so be patient with me. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I'm just winging it. So trying to do the best I can here. For you guys just joining us, I will let you know that I have a big screen here. I got a 34-inch LG screen that I absolutely love, and it's right here in front of me. And then I have all the chat to the right. So if you're wondering why I'm not looking directly at the camera and I'm looking here, it's because I'm seeing your guys' chat, and I'm seeing the picture of what's going on. So I have the camera up here, and I will be moving the camera at some point over to the right hand side where it's directly on, so I'm not having to look up at it. But I do not have a long enough USB cable for the audio visual jack on this camera. The only one I have is, I think, maybe 3 foot, and I ordered a 10-foot one. So I didn't really have any other place I could put this camera at this time, because it had to be this close to be able to hook up to my computer. So what are you guys all doing up this early in the morning? Because I'm the only one on the West Coast, it looks like. So the West Coast here, hoot hoot for the night owls. That's right, dangerous to man. Did I say that right? Dangerous to man. Great name. Yep. I think that's one thing. Who was a full-time nomad? If you're a full-time nomad, raise your hand. I think being a nomad, that's one great thing about being a nomad, is we can just be up anytime we want to be. Amy Preston. Might try a little more light on your face next time. Otherwise, everything is great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm ordering another light, an Octabox light, because I have this light that's over here to the right of me, and I would actually show you guys. It's on a big boom arm, but it's actually it's either too bright or not bright enough. So I was trying to get everything dialed in, and then I've got a lamp on this side. But hopefully when I get the Octabox, it'll go up here to the top and it'll light me properly. Friday night. Oh, yeah, it's Friday night there. Where are you guys at? 3-2 travel? Yep, RV Ashes. So you're full time. I knew you guys were full time. Adina, I don't know about Adina. Who else is full time? What were you guys driving, RV Ashes? What rig did you have? I'm trying to place you guys of which rig you were driving. Oh, Adina, you'll be in 4 months? Well, come join us. Have you found a rig yet, Adina? What kind of rig are you looking at there in Fort Worth? Not full-time, but want to be dangerous to the man. I totally understand that. I was that guy for several years. 3-2 travel, Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. I still can't believe we have 10 people in here at 1:20 a.m. in the morning. Let me just say, guys, this actually, I said this when I first started the stream, and most of you weren't in here. I'm running this camera on battery power because I don't actually have a AC wall plug for this camera yet. I just ordered one. It was like $50. I ordered one, so it is literally running on battery power. I charged the battery before I started the stream, so I think it'll go for about 30 minutes, but it may just shut off here pretty quick. I think we probably have about 6 minutes left on the stream. It says it's 24 minutes, and I think we can get about 30 minutes out of this camera. Jay Holly, hi 420. Thank you, Adina. Thank you for the great comment. Oh, I want a truck camper to start. Yeah, that's a great thing to start with, Adina. I like the truck campers myself. Uh, Destination Open Road, Scott and Terry, they're in a truck camper, and I like the truck camper as well. If I could get like if you had like a diesel 4-wheel drive pickup and then a nice truck camper on it, I think you're probably pretty much set because you can pretty much go anywhere you want to go with that thing. And it's a lot cheaper than an overland vehicle, depending on what that's well, that depends. Some of those campers are super, super expensive if they have slide outs and stuff. That is the idea. I don't blame you, Adina. That's a good way to start the nomad life with a truck camper. You see a lot of those. I saw there was some of my neighbors at Boondockers Bash. Can't remember what his name was, but they were in a truck camper, him and his girlfriend. So a lot of truck campers out there. And RV Ash. You guys were in a 33 Class C Mini Winnie. So you guys weren't parked close to us when Van Life Sheldons and Scott and Terry from Destination Open Road, and you guys weren't over there when we were all parked over there. You were over by Mike and Steph, and we were in the upper area by Wondering Jimmy. Ah, gotcha. Copy that. Let's see. Trying to remember who else. The guy in the big blue schoolie. What is his name? Steampunk Steve. Steampunk Steve. He was there as well. I remember Steampunk Steve. I remember his rig as well. I met him at RTR last year. So are you guys ready for the RTR? If you don't know about the RTR this year is going to be completely different. I'm sure all of you know that by now. I watched Bob's live stream that he had yesterday, and they were talking about the RTR. So if anybody went to the van build and they went to the Boondockers the van build, I'm sorry, the van build. The van build was off Shea Road in Parker, Arizona. And I had actually kind of thought about maybe that's where I would go because that will not be very far from the fairgrounds, which is where the RTR are going to have their seminars this year in Parker. It's not going to be in Quartzsite. So I had originally thought I might go to Shea Road. Well, watching Bob's live stream yesterday, he let us know that I knew that they have races that are going to be going on. It's the like side-by-side races. And literally, Bob said, if you end up over by Shea Road, on Shea Road, and you're over there on that BLM land, when the race starts, they block all that off, and you would not be able to get out to make it to the RTR. So just be sure if you're going to RTR that you do not pull up and park where the van build was on Shea Road, because if you do, you could be stuck there. And they're having races going on for 2 days. I think he said like the 23rd and 24th. And they're going to be having a racer. Or the driver. What do you call it? The driver meet and greet is going to actually be in the city of Parker, and I think he said that's going to be on the 20th or 21st, I believe, and that will be in the city of Parker. So they advise not to be going into Parker during that meet and greet because it's going to be mayhem. And it's going to be mayhem out there when the 2 days of the races that are going on. I'm not sure if anybody else is going to the RTR. Is anybody interested in information on the RTR? Or am I just talking to myself? We will be where the party R was last year. Hey, or that's exactly where I'm going to be. I talked to my buddy Paul Barger, and we're trying to set up a step van row for our step vans. So Paul and I are going to be probably exactly where the step van row was last year in Skadden Wash. I'm sure you guys remember that RV Ash in April. Am I saying that right? RV Ashes in April. Yeah, so we're going to be back in Skadden Wash, and then last year at RTR, I was actually myself and my friend. We were back. We were literally back in the far right corner of the party R. So I know exactly where you guys are going to be, and I believe Hobotech. If you know Hobotech, and if you know Stan, who is What it stands? He's the truck driver that wrecked his rig. What it stands? Sasnak. Sasnak. It's like Kansas spelled backwards. Sasnak. They are going to be exactly where the Hobotech camp was last year. So you had the Hobotech camp. You had a Gus and a bus was parked out there in that area. So it's looking like a lot of us nomads are going to be heading back to Quartzsite, to the very place that the RTR was last year. That's the best way to do it. I mean, there's a 14-day, it's 14-day BLM land. So, even the RTR went on for 9 days, I believe. So, I mean, we're not having an official event. So I don't think there would be anything that BLM would try to run us off or anything. Jeff and Margie. Hi, Jeff and Margie. I know I met you guys at Thanksgiving. I apologize for not remembering you. I'm sure I would remember you if I saw your face. I'll have to follow you guys on Instagram. You guys are on Instagram at RV Ash and April. Ashes in April, Jeff and Margie. So give me some ideas, guys. Yes, okay. I'll look you guys up on Instagram. Let's see if we can find you guys. I have my phone right here. It's 52 degrees in LA, guys. What's the temperature where you're at? I'm Greg, free to travel. Hey, Greg, come to RTR. I'm not. Where are you at, Greg? What part of the country are you in? Are you the guy from Australia? Let's see. Oh yeah, you're at South Wales. Oh, you got a long. I don't think you could drive to RTR, Greg, unless you got an amphibious vehicle. Let me get to Instagram here. I'm gonna follow RV Ashes in April, and you guys can follow him as well. Let's see. And if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, it's Snap-on Truck Tiny Home. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's Snap-on Truck Tiny Home. And I update there more than I do pretty much anywhere else. I update my stories. Dangerous to the man, 34 degrees in Wisconsin. That's actually pretty freaking warm for Wisconsin for this time of year. 32 degree. Richard Kemple, you're in Wisconsin as well, western Wisconsin, very near the Mississippi River. So dangerous to the man, 34 where he's at in Wisconsin. Where in Wisconsin are you at, dangerous to the man? So Richard Kemple, it's 32 in western Wisconsin. Just so you guys know, I'm very familiar with Wisconsin. I have been all over your state from one end of it to the other. I've been to Appleton. I've been to Manitowoc. I've been to just about everywhere. Not too many people. Madison. There's not too many towns or cities in Wisconsin I haven't been to. Michigan and Minnesota as well. I used to work up there in the 90s, so I was up there every 3 months working up there. 10 miles north of La Crosse. I've been right through there. Yep, I know exactly where you're at. And the last time I was up there was probably in 2001, probably a few months before 9/11. And I remember I was in Minnesota. And it was at one time I was in Minneapolis, which is not Wisconsin, but it's straight across. And I was in Minneapolis, and it was 48 degrees below zero. Oh, here comes a train. That one wasn't too bad. It was 48 degrees below zero, and like 84 degrees below wind chill temp. So they had on the radio, they had these advisories that were going off every 15 minutes. If you were listening to the radio, all of a sudden it would just go, 15-minute skin advisory. It advised to not be outside with any exposed skin for over 15 minutes. If you suffer frostbite, go to your nearest medical center. And being from Texas, I thought that was insane. I thought it was crazy. So yeah, it gets pretty cold up there. And I was up in Montana one time when it was freezing cold up there as well. So the two coldest climates I've ever been in my life was Fargo, North Dakota. I've been there many times. and it was freezing up there several times. And then I was in Minneapolis, and then one time in Montana. And we have 12 people in here now. So welcome, guys. If you're new to the stream here, I actually didn't think this camera would last more than 30 minutes. I thought it had an auto cutoff where it would actually cut off at 30 minutes. I actually did a firmware update on it, hoping it would not do that. And it shows the stream's been going 35 minutes. So evidently I might have fixed that. But just so you guys know, if you're just joining my stream here, just so you know, this camera could shut off at any time because it's running on battery power, and the battery's going to run out eventually. So I'm just streaming this thing until the wheels fall off. We got 12 people in here, guys. This is my first stream, so I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of sitting here rambling, talking to you guys. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, I've got the camera set up here. I've got my screen in front of me, and then over here to the right on this side, I actually have the chat up so I can see what you guys are saying. Adina says, I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Adina. Wishing you a blessed New Year, Debbie Povlik. You're doing great. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. I've wanted to live stream for a very long time. My buddy Paul Barger, the bread trucker, if you guys do not know I'm sure you know who Paul Barger is. He's one of my best friends. He is my very best nomad friend. And he has been trying to get me to live stream now for probably about a year, maybe a little over a year. Yeah, since RTR last year, he was trying to get me to live stream last year. And everybody uses their phone to live stream. And yeah, my phone it's an old iPhone 6S Plus, and it's pretty wore out. So I have equipment here, so I wanted to see if I could actually get a live stream going that is, using one of my cameras. And I'm a little bit out of focus. I wish I'd got the focus a little bit better, and the lighting just tweaked a little bit better. But this is not too bad for the very first time that I've got this going. Sorry, don't do cold. 30 degrees Fahrenheit is the best I do. I understand that. 3-2 travel. I'm the same way, buddy. Everybody, all of my friends from Texas, everybody always asks me, like, why are you in California? Why do you stay in California with all the crazy stuff that's going on right now in California? And it is insane. We had a homeless man yesterday, or New Year's morning, a homeless man went into a cafe. If you haven't heard this, probably haven't, some of you. But anyway, a homeless gentleman went into a cafe in downtown LA, got into a verbal altercation with another gentleman that was at the counter, ended up pulling a knife out and stabbing him to death at 8:00 in the morning in broad daylight. So yeah, we've got some problems here in California that are going on. I know you guys in Australia have some problems going on with the fires. Luis Elsanon, I'm not even going to try to butcher that last name. Elsanon, Luis, welcome, guys. If you're just joining us, welcome. I wish I could figure out how to expand this chat so it's actually bigger, but I'm not sure how to do that. I'll have to figure that out the next time around. Oh, thought we just lost the video, but we didn't. The camera clicked, but it's still going. Thought it just shut off. So is anybody other than the RV Ashes going to RTR? Is everybody here more or less looking for possibly getting into the van life at some point? It's funny. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog. He's snoring. He's right over here on the other side of me, and he's snoring up a storm. It's 1:35 a.m. here in Southern California. I'm about 4 miles south of downtown Los Angeles. I'm not sure where all of you guys are. I know where some of you are. There's 11 people in the room. We've got 7 thumbs up. It's my very first live stream, so be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like it. Too cute, yeah. He is a cutie. If you guys follow my regular Instagram, I have two Instagram accounts. I have a personal Instagram account, which is more for my photography, and it's just my name, Rav Holly. And I posted a picture of my dog on there earlier today because he was just being adorable. And I say my dog, and he's not even my dog. He's actually a friend of mine that she's a really good friend of mine. And when she travels a lot, I take care of him. But I've literally had him now since the 1st of November. She wants me to give him back, and I refuse. Oh, wow. You're not hearing the train, and you didn't hear the dog either. Well, that's great. I'm really surprised. This microphone is what's called a condenser microphone, I believe. So it usually picks up the surrounding noise, but more than a directional microphone. So I've been looking at getting a different microphone, the one that you talk into the end of. But the microphone that I want is like what Joe Rogan and them use in his podcast, which is a Shure SMB7, I think. And that thing you have to have this thing called a cloud lifter with it. And that microphone is only like $400. So probably not going to be getting that Shure SMB7 or whatever it's called. But I am looking at an Electro Voice 3E320. So the old Electro Voice is like the staple in radio, which what it's called the E20, which is what all of the DJs used to use. So I'm going to be looking at getting the little brother, which is a 320. Let's see. Richard Kemple says, can those that watch Nomadic Fanatic just talk about the recent elephant in the room? No, not his weight loss challenge. No, about his unhealthy obsession with Disney World as a man in his upper 30s. Oh, okay there, Richard. That is, I do. Adina, you listen to Joe Rogan? So I've actually hung out with Joe Rogan in Vegas back in the day. My ex-roommate was Razor Rob McCullough, who used to be the WEC lightweight champion. And so when I first moved to LA, I worked for a company called MMA Agents. I was the on-staff photographer. And when I left there, we were the largest mixed martial arts sports agency in the world. We had a little over 60 fighters on our roster. So yeah, I used to be pretty much embedded in that world. Oh, you want to train, Adina? Well, look up my old roommate, Razor Rob McCullough. He is actually a bigwig now with the UFC gym, and he actually travels and does seminars. And I know he was in Fort Worth probably about 6 months ago, I think. So keep up with me, and the next time he heads back to Texas, I will let you know. And he offers like a free seminar if you go into the local UFC gym. So I'm not sure where the UFC gym is there in Fort Worth, Adina. Is it in Fort Worth or is it in Dallas? Or is there one both places now? I know they're opening them up like crazy. Don't know about the Disney, but I will always be Toys R Us kid, says Dangerous to the Man. So Richard Kemple, I believe. It's in both, Adina. Good. Yeah. So look up my old roommate, Razor Rob McCullough. Follow him on Instagram, and he will let you know the next time he's back in Fort Worth. And he was at one time, I think he still is, the most decorated Muay Thai champion, American Muay Thai champion. I know he went to Thailand and fought for a year and was undefeated. And there's a fight coming up in UFC, which is going to be, you guys probably don't know anything about what I'm talking about. Anyway, but if you do, there's a fight coming up in the UFC with notorious Conor McGregor and Cowboy Cerrone. And Cowboy Cerrone and my ex-roommate, Razor Rob McCullough, I was Cade's side when they went to war twice. They fought twice in the WC. And it's crazy that Cowboy Cerrone is still fighting all these years later. Very good. One of the few who have pronounced it right. Oh, wow. Awesome, Richard Kemple. I'm amazed I did because I usually butcher everybody's name, including my own. So Richard, the elephant in the room, talking about Nomadic Fanatic and his obsession with. You want Cowboy to win? Oh, me too. I can't stand Conor McGregor. I haven't liked him since he went. He started being notorious. He was a pretty humble kid when he was in when he was fighting over in England and fighting over in the UK and Europe. He was a pretty humble kid, but once he got into Vegas, it all changed. So Rick Kemple, Rick is fine, so I'll call you Rick. So Rick, talking about Nomadic Fanatic and his obsession with Disney. You know, I've been watching Nomadic Fanatic since he was parked in his college up in Washington State, and he was in a really crappy old Tioga RV, which he called Tilly, and then he had Tilly 2, which was literally the exact same type of rig. There was a lot of controversy how he got rid of the rig because he drove it to Florida and then gave it to some elderly people, and there's a lot of history there with Nomadic Fanatic, and he's always been going to Disneyland, going to these theme parks and stuff, and I don't know. I don't know what his childhood was. Maybe he didn't get to go to those places when he was a kid. If you've ever seen Nomadic Fanatic in person, I think he's kind of let it out. He kept it a secret for very many years. He's not a very tall guy. I think he's about 5'5", 5'6", maybe. He's not very tall. So maybe he's just still a kid at heart. I'm surprised they'll let him on the rides, because don't you have to be a certain height to get on the rides? Okay, now I'm being a dick. No, but anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't, whatever floats your boat. I don't judge the guy. I mean, he does what he wants to do. I remember back when he was really struggling with YouTube, and he was struggling, just to keep his rig running and keep it on the road and everything else. And I will say that guy is pulling in some major bank now. If you guys do not know, I'm sure most of us do know that Nomadic Fanatic has made he's making a very nice living for himself on YouTube. And since you guys are here, we have 12 people here. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of Nomad RV gold. I've said this in a couple of my past videos, but none of you probably know this. I actually know the very first RV YouTuber, the very first RV full-time YouTuber. I've had several people try to tell me that was Nomadic Fanatic. It was not. The very first RV YouTuber was my friend Randy Prim, RandyPrimm, and you can still look him up on YouTube. He still has a trailer, but he had a YouTube channel back in. He still has a YouTube channel, but it's just his name now, Randy Prim. But when he was a full-time RVer, he had a YouTube channel back in 2008 that was called Road Bandit. And you can still find the trailer, and you can still find some of his videos. And Randy is a friend of mine, and he's actually been to broadcasting school, and he's a real video guy. He is now working for the UFC in Vegas. And the last time I saw him, we're friends on Facebook. And the last time I saw him post something on Facebook, he was holding a big broadcast camera, and he was out on the sidelines of one of the football games, which I guess is the Raiders. Are the Raiders playing in Vegas already now? But anyway, Randy Prim, look him up on YouTube, and don't let anybody lie to you. Randy Prim was the very first RV full-time YouTuber, and he was doing it before YouTube actually was bought out by Google. So there was no AdSense. So Randy was trying to do the full-time thing, and he was doing it. His idea to do it was all on donations. So he was just using donations to do the YouTube thing, and he was buying everything that he needed off donations. So we were donating money to him through PayPal and some different ways, but he had a really rough road doing it that way, because there was not enough donations to keep him going. And I remember one time he was stuck somewhere in the middle of nowhere, just on the side of the road, out of gas. And I ended up PayPaling him like $20 for gas. So yeah, he was just a man before his time. And it's funny because when I try to talk to him now about the popularity of van life and the RV life and everything, He does not even want to talk about it because it's such a sore spot for him because he had such a hard time doing it. And to see like he was Randy is also six, I think he's 6'11". How tall is Randy? He's either 6'8" or 6'11". And he was literally in an old like Tioga himself, like an old C-class RV that he was traveling around in with his cat. That sounds a little bit familiar, right? Some of you may know somebody else that travels around with their cat, but Randy was the first guy that was a full-time RVer that was on YouTube. And I think he lasted for about a year. Let's see what we got going here in the chat now. Rick Kemple. I mean, I'm impressed with his journey and video quality. And yeah, do what you want. That doesn't hurt anyone else. Hey, I completely agree with you, Rick. I will be the first one to say that I think it's a little bit strange, a grown man being so enamored with Disney. I was married for a long time. I had two kids, that grew up. So, that was something that we would take the kids to. But as far as myself, like I've been to Disneyland, there's Disneyland right here in Anaheim. So, I've been there since I've lived in LA since 2006. I've probably been to Disneyland maybe 4 or 5 times. And every time that I went to Disneyland, it was because some girl that I was dating wanted to go to Disneyland and she got free tickets because I was not paying to go. I'm not paying $100. The last time I went to Disneyland, the tickets were $99. And I think they're up way over that now. Yeah, Dina, that has to be tough, not getting credit for pioneering. I don't think Randy really wants credit. I just think, he sees where the he sees where the movement has gone. And the funny thing is when he was doing this, I thought he was out of his mind. When he was doing the full time RV thing, I was like, "What are you doing?" I was so judgmental about it. I was like, "Man, what are you doing? I don't even get it." Because I literally did not get it. But Randy Prim is the one that got me fascinated because I was fascinated watching his videos because he had some great videos. And I don't know, I think all of his videos are still up there. I don't think he's ever removed them. I know his channel trailer is still up there from Road Bandit, but he's been to broadcasting school. So his little channel, his little videos, even though this was back in 2008, his little videos were very well produced. He really knew what he was doing. And if he would have stayed with it, he would probably be a YouTube millionaire by now, but he gave it up. 3-2 travel. My first YouTube video was uploaded for over 10 years ago. Yeah, mine was too. So my other channel, I have this channel, which is Nomad News, which originally was Vagabond Days. So I started this channel when I was getting ready to be a full-time RVer. But my other YouTube channel, which was my name, it's now Nomad Nation, but it was my name, Rav Holly, for years and years and years. But I started that channel in 2006. I was one of the first 500 people on YouTube. And back in those days, it was just me and Shay Carl. Me and Shay Carl. I don't know if you know who Shay Carl is, but me and Shay Carl used to do videos back and forth to each other. So back in 2006, and Shay Carl, if you don't know, became a multi-millionaire YouTube star, and he was a big heavyset guy he was from Indiana, I believe. I think he was from Indiana or somewhere up there. He was like a radio disc jockey, and you can actually go back to all of these old videos I'm talking about. But he was a really heavyset guy. And then after he got him and his family, he has a family, and they called the Shaytards, I believe is what his family was called. You guys probably don't have any idea what I'm talking about. Are you live in your step van? Tierra Santa 1987. No, I am not live in my step van. This is my office at work. This is where I do most of my production and stuff, is at my office here at work. My step van, though, is literally parked right out on the street. There's a park right here by my work, and it's a street over. There's railroad tracks, and so I have to walk to the end of the block and then around the end of the block and then my truck. But I can look out my window right here and look directly at my truck, which it's 1:50 in the morning. I should actually be in my truck because this is a really, really, really bad neighborhood in LA. This is South Central Los Angeles. I don't know if you know anything about that. So there's a Okay, we're 54 minutes, guys. I'm going to wrap this up at 1 hour. I think an hour is a good time to stream. So I want to thank you guys. We're not wrapping it up yet. We still got about 6 minutes, but I just want you to. There's a new documentary on YouTube that is called Los Angeles 1992. And it's basically talking about the riots in Los Angeles. And the riots in Los Angeles, they popped off over at Florence and Normandy. So I'm right here on Florence. So Florence and Normandy is literally 2 miles, about a mile and a half, 2 miles this way behind me at the 110. So once you go right under the 110 freeway, you will see Florence and Normandy. So that's exactly where the 1992 riots, the LA riots, popped off, which is less than 2 miles from where I'm sitting. So no, I'm not live in my step van, but if I ever get my freaking solar installed, my goal with my step van is to have a rolling studio. I don't want to be doing this in my office. I want to have a lot of this stuff in my truck, and I want to be doing it in my truck once I get my truck all built out. I want my truck to be like a rolling studio. And I want you guys to know that at RTR this year, the plan is my buddy Noah Sargent, one of my very best friends. I've got my other RV stored in his driveway, and he's literally ready to kill me. Uh, it's been in his driveway going on a year. I've been procrastinating on selling it, but I've got a bunch of people coming to look at it this weekend. So if any of you remember Bertha, my old Dodge RV, hopefully I will get her sold this weekend and get her out of my buddy Noah's driveway. But anyway, we are planning to go to RTR, and we are taking all of this crazy broadcast equipment with us. We don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to go out there first and see what's going on at RTR. But if everything is going right, he's gonna bring his trailer. He's got like a toy hauler, but we have these big, huge racks of broadcast equipment that we do live broadcasting with for companies, for corporations and stuff. And we've been looking for different venues to practice with this equipment so we can do larger and larger corporations. We've done some pretty big corporations, but this is a new package, a new equipment setup. We used to rent everything, and now Noah owns everything. But we want to do like a full live broadcast thing from RTR. So if I can get out to RTR, and there's a lot of people back where Scad and Wash, where we were last year. We actually really want to do some cool live broadcasts like this, but at RTR, where I can have my buddy Paul Barger, and we can have an audience, and we can have maybe Bob Wells even come, anybody that we can get that wants to be on the live broadcast and do some live streaming. That's why I'm really practicing this live streaming thing. So Rich Kemple, before you go tonight, I'd like to thank you for doing what you do. I really enjoy, and I am intrigued to do it myself about the van life. Hey, Rick, there's no time like the present. It's 2020. So, you know, uh, you can research all you want to, but until you do it, you just really have no idea. I will give you some quick advice. We're 58 minutes in. I know a lot of people like go to the Facebook groups. They go to the Facebook groups, to the van life Facebook groups, to try to learn what they're going to need to learn before they venture out into the van life. And I will tell you, I've been banned from like 4 or 5 of those groups. I was just banned from Van Dwellers because I call them out, because 90% of the people, no, I'm sorry, 99.1% of the people in those groups are just like all of you guys that are dreaming about van life, but are not really doing the van life. And they're all acting like they're experts when they're actually not experts on, they're all giving their opinions on van life when they really don't know what they're talking about. And it rubs me the wrong way. It gets under my skin. And I call them out on it all the time. Good luck getting Bob to do a video. Yeah, for sure. You're right. I think once he sees our setup, though, but he's going to be over in Parker, and we're probably not going to be in Parker. But anyway, if you guys are interested in the van life, find your favorite YouTubers, follow your YouTubers. I mean, people are, they're glamorizing van life to what it really is on YouTube. I understand that. But the problem with the Facebook groups is there's most of the people are just not real van lifers in those Facebook groups. Gotta love you. Thanks for calling out bullcrap. Same way. Yeah, thanks, Adina. Uh, so we're at 59:40, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up, and I want to thank you so much for joining me on my first live stream. I think we got up to about 13, 14 people in here. We have 12 people in here now. We have 9 thumbs up. If you hadn't hit the thumbs up, if you like the stream, be sure to give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And I really appreciate all of you guys coming in here. It is literally 2 o'clock in the morning now, and we got 12 people watching this. And I really thought I would be talking to myself for most of the stream. So I really appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with me for this hour. I think I'm going to say this was really in my book, it was a major success from what I thought it was going to be. And I really, really appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with me and chatting for the hour. And I'll be tweaking this a little bit better, a little bit more to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing in the future. So anyway, that's going to do it for this live stream, guys. I want to say thank you to Rick. Thank you, Adina. Thank you, RV Ashes and April. Who else do we have in here? Going through really quick. Dangerous to the Man. Oh, we got another train coming by. Debbie Pavlik. I don't know if any of you guys are still in here. Louise, Amy Preston. Just running through the names really quick. I want to thank you guys. Who was from Australia? Who was that? 321 Travel. Greg. Anyway, thank you guys. Jay Holly, thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining me on my very first official YouTube live stream. That's going to do it, guys. And remember, everything you've ever wanted is sitting right on the other side of fear. Good night.